Hi, it's Mitch from PickDawgz.com. Thursday, June the 20th, 2024. We've got Major League Baseball first 5 inning picks for today. Short card, just 9 games, but never short on beating up on the books. Of course, we also do today in sports history, and today in 1980, Roberto Duran beat Sugar Ray Leonard in Montreal for the world title. One of the most epic bouts. And of course, there was the rematch in which there was the no mas fight. But this was the first fight, which was an epic win in the Duran-Leonard rivalry, if you want to call it that. But anyways, of course, we have a rivalry with the book every single day, and we go for the knockout punch. And of course, these videos, we try and do it early in the first 5 innings. Let's get right into it. For our first game of the day, we head to Washington, where the Nationals take on the Diamondbacks. It was the Nats getting revenge on the D-backs for on yesterday, with Patrick Corbin actually pitching extremely well. Today, the Nationals go with Mackenzie Gore, the lefty, who is at the top of the rotation, but is really yet to show that he is consistently has top of the rotation type stuff. He's up against Ryan Nelson for the D-backs, who has been hit pretty hard this season at times as well, but we've seen him have good stuff too. Nelson checks in with a 5.49 ERA on the season, dipping to 4.24 over his last 3 starts, while Gore 3.24 ERA, 4.41 over his last 3 starts. Gore strikes out a lot of batters, but he certainly can be had. When we look at the way the Nationals or the Diamondbacks are hitting left-handed pitching at 271 for the season, or over their last 10 games, 276 for the season, while the Nats hitting righties at 253. Probably going to be a lot of runs here, but I'm going to go with the Diamondbacks to get it done, and that'll be our pick for the first 5. For our next game, we head to Cleveland, where the Guardians are taking on the Mariners. We've got Logan Allen on the bump for the hometown Guardians, while it's Luis Castillo on the mound for the Mariners. Castillo hasn't really put up Castillo-like numbers this season, but the Mariners, despite Wednesday's loss, have had a lot of success in Cleveland, winning 7 of the last 9 meetings. We look at Castillo's 3.32 ERA for the season and 3.50 over his last 3 starts. These are considerably higher than his normal career numbers. We look at Logan Allen, 5.30 ERA over his last for the season, 7.11 over his last 3 starts. The Mariners not hitting left-handed pitching at all, 153 over their last 10 games and just 209 for the season, while the Guardians are crushing righties to the tune of 275 over their last 10 games, up from 237 for the season. It's just one of those things where it's like the Guardians, they get rolling at home. Boy, I just got to take them here. I'm going to take the Guardians in the first 5. For our next game, we head to Minnesota, where the Twins are taking on the Rays. It's Simeon Woods Richardson on the mound for the Twinkies, Zach Littell on the mound for the Rays. It was the Rays getting into the win column on Wednesday in an extra innings matchup, and one of those weird games where the Twins had a lot of opportunities, couldn't get runners across the plate, while the Rays had few opportunities and got runs across the plate. Littell comes in with a 4.24 ERA, but 7.71 over his last 3 starts, while Simeon Woods Richardson also regressing, 3.29 up to 4.91 over his last 3 starts. We know he doesn't go deep into games, and that is part of it. But the thing is, for the first 5 innings, it really doesn't matter as much. The Rays have won 7 of their last 9 against the Twins. Look away, these teams are hitting righties recently, and the Twins hitting 319 against right-handed pitching. In fact, they're hitting 374 against lefties. That's all over their last 10 games, while the Rays 224 against righties, but they have been hit well situationally. Still going to go with the Twins here in the first 5. For our next game, we head to the south side of Chicago, the baddest part of town, as Jim Croce once said, where the White Sox are hosting the Houston Astros. Chris Flexen on the bump for the Pale Hose, while it's Spencer Arrighetti on the mound for the Stros. Of course, it was the Astros getting the win on Wednesday after the White Sox got the win on Tuesday. Both these pitchers have had their share of struggles, with Arrighetti checking in at a 6.37 ERA, 8.10 over his last 3 starts, while Flexen 5.37 ERA on the season with a 4.72 ERA over his last 3 starts. The thing is, the Astros have been hitting the ball extremely well, but as you see, their pitching staff still could use an injection of life from maybe a Lance McCullers coming back, or Javier, or at least some help on the way. Maybe not afraid to make some trades. But the Astros are hitting righties at 253 over their last 10 games, while the White Sox is just 207. But the thing is, they haven't really been against Eric Getty. I'm going to take the White Sox in the first 5 of this game. For our next game, we head to Coors Field in Colorado, where the Rockies are taking on the Dodgers, and this high-scoring series has been absolutely nuts. Just plenty of runs going on, and really, can't make heads or tails of this thing. But as we go into this one, it's Gavin Stone on the bump for the Dodgers, Ty Blach on the mound for the Rockies. Stone has been very good in the Dodgers rotation, which hasn't been all that great this season. 3.01 ERA for the season, 2.55 over his last 3 starts, while Blach comes in at 4.65 for the season and 5.74 ERA over his last 3 starts. We look at the way the Dodgers are hitting left-handed pitching, and it's certainly a lot worse than they hit righties. It's just 213 over their last 10 games, even though they're hitting lefties at 269 for the season. We look at the Rockies against righties, hitting 263 over their last 10 games and 245 for the season. This game to me looks like a mismatch all the way, because the Dodgers certainly can hit lefties. We know that, even though they haven't done it recently. But in this series, everybody's hitting everything. I'm going to take the over in the first 5 innings. That's going to be my pick. For our next game, we head to Oakland, where the A's are taking on the Royals. It's Mitch Spence on the mound for the A's and Seth Lugo on the mound for the Royals. Lugo has that impressive 2.40 ERA on the season, but it does go all the way up to 5.21 over his last 3 starts. Sort of how the Royals are running right now, just going 2-8 in their last 10 games, really struggling, as we predicted they would, and that is the overall, because that bullpen is just so bad. But of course, in our first 5 inning picks, the bullpen doesn't factor as much. Mitch Spence on the mound for the A's, 3.95 ERA on the season, up to 4.82. And the thing is, we look at the way the A's are hitting right-handed pitching, actually over the last 10 games, significantly better than the Royals are at 241 versus 211, even though for the season, the Royals are hitting 240 to the A's 221. Just think the wheels are looking to be falling off the cart. Not surprising. This is a team that's on the rise, not a team that's already there. I'm going to take the A's, and that's going to be my pick for the first 5. For our next game, we head to Yankee Stadium, where the Yankees are taking on the Orioles. Lewis Heel on the mound for the Yankees, and it's Cole Irvin on the bump for the Orioles. Last night it was the Orioles getting the win in extra innings, and as we know, the Orioles are 8-3 in their last 11 against the Yankees, even though they're 12-25 in their last 37 trips to the Bronx. We look at the ERA of these 2 pitchers, and of course Cole Irvin is having an outstanding season, but we are seeing a slight regression, as his 3.03 season ERA is going up to 3.57 over his last 3 starts. So not horrible, but still going in the wrong direction. While Luis Heel, 2.02 ERA on the season, 2.16 over his last 3 games. So slightly higher, but still off the chain at 2.16. We look at the way the Yankees are hitting lefties, 236. The Orioles hitting righties at 281. But to be honest, nobody's really hitting Heel. And, these Yankee games that happen after they play extra innings are always high scoring. I think that favors the Yankees as well. I'll take the Yankees in the first 5 of this game. For our next game, we head to St. Louis, where the Cardinals are taking on the Giants. Pallante on the mound for the Cards, and it's Keaton Winn on the mound for the Giants. Winn has been terrible this season. ERA over 6 for the year, and ERA over 9 over his last 3 starts, while Pallante, of course, that means bullpen game, 4.61 ERA on the season and 5.56 over his last 3 starts. Yeah, neither of these teams are really doing well when it comes to these starting pitchers. We look at the way the Giants are hitting right-handed pitching, just 197 over their last 10 games, while the Cards at 259. But the thing is, the Giants, they had some series where they struggled, and then they kind of, move forward and play a little bit better. It's just the way that they've been all season long, dealing with with the injuries that they're dealing with. Both these teams enter under 500, looking to get to 500. I know both these pitchers can get hit, and while wins numbers look terrible, I'm going to take the Giants anyway for the first 5 innings. For our next game, we head to San Diego, where the Padres are taking on the Brewers. Missouri on the mound for the Padres. Bryce Wilson on the mound for the Brewers. Wilson, one of those guys whose, numbers don't necessarily, tell the whole story. And we've seen that over his last 3 starts, that he has been hit extremely hard. 8.31 ERA over his last 3 starts, even though his season ERA is just 3.84. While Missouri is only making his 4th start of the season, 7.82 ERA. Really, most of that happened in his 2nd start of the season, where he got absolutely busted up. Basically, welcome to the major leagues, right after that first start that he had. We look at the way these teams are hitting the baseball, and thing is, the Brewers just 218 right now over their last 10 games versus right-handed pitching, down from 258 for the season, while the Padres 235 versus righties over their last 3 games, over the last 10 games, and 270 versus righties over the course of the season. As I said, I don't think Wilson's numbers tell the whole story. I think the Padres hammer him big time. I'm going to take the Padres in the first 5. And that wraps up today's first 5 innings picks. Tomorrow we have just 14 Major League Baseball games. We've got NHL action. We haven't been covering those in these videos because it's first 5 innings and first halves. But I guess maybe next year we could add the first period of NHL, and we'll be working on these videos and improving them all the way along. If there's anything you want to see in these videos, by all means, just let us know in the comments. Of course, if you're looking for my best bets, the games I'm betting today, as well as best bets from the world's best handicappers, click on the link in the description, or just head on over to PickDawgz.com and click on the Premium Picks tab. Be sure to use that discount code PICK if you want 15% off. If you're looking for cool PickDawgz gear like this Nike Dry Fit zip-up hoodie that I'm wearing, well, we've got that as well. I've got a link in the description over at the website as well under the merch tab. This hat, plenty of other gear, and of course, over at PickDawgz, plenty of free picks as well. So check us all out. We'll see you tomorrow. This is Mitch. I appreciate you joining me each and every day. Smash that like button.